The French language in general, I think you could argue, seriously change the spelling on some of those words.
Which brings us to charcuterie. Hey, it's your friend Mike O'Neill from the new Mind 97.5 and
Mike Pesto over here as well. Hi.
Hello.
I wish we had a third camera here with us because we have this full-blown professional setup for the camera that's on me right now. I mean, it looks like we're in a newsroom. It's that professional.
Uh-huh.
And literally, for the one that's on you, Mike, it's Hector's iPhone.
We're lucky it's not Fred Flintstone chinking out of stone. But here it is, and it's fine. Good to see you guys.
The things we do to make sure that we've got video for you every week. So please do check out our YouTube channel. We've got a lot of great stuff up there, including video of my exclusive conversation with Mickey Thomas, which we'll be playing little excerpts of that throughout the week as we're getting ready for. And this segues perfectperfectly into our conversation today. The concert coming up Friday at Adventist Health Amphitheater. Did I get it right that time, or at least close enough? Mike O'Neill, you pointed out something to me last week Friday, and you did it very tactfully, that, and I can't tell you how long I've been doing this. I've been pronouncing that word incorrectly. I've been saying amphitheater.
You've been saying amphitheater.
Yeah. Like there's an L in there somewhere. And I looked at the spelling. There's no L. Yeah, for some reason, my brain thought, there should be an L in there. Let's put an L in there and see if anybody notices.
And the way I politely brought it up for all of you How I Met Your Mother fans, do you remember Ted? Ted had a word he mispronounced. He commonly said chameleon instead of chameleon. And they were all in the cast, all educated, college educated. And Ted still managed to say chameleon, which I thought was great.
So we have these liners in the studio with us just to remind us things to talk about stationality-wise. And so I now have written on my liners, and if you watch this video, you can see, I'm showing it to Michael as well. So it's actually on the liners.
Phonetic.
So I don't forget to say it correctly, and remind me not to say amphitheater. Boop. It actually is Adventist Health Amphitheater.
Is what it is.
So we went down this rabbit hole, at least I did, earlier this morning. And you've got a list there in front of you, Mike, and I've got this website up. 80 commonly mispronounced words. And I just thought, as a public service, if you will, since you're much better at this than I am, because you have clients coming in, and sometimes they'll mispronounce something, or maybe someone will pull you aside, and maybe a client will call and say, hey, just so you know, it's this as opposed to that. A big one here. And this got me when I first moved to the South Valley in 2011. We did a remote when I was working at KJUG at the time at the convention center. And I pronounced the name of the street that the convention center is just adjacent to, Asakia.
Which is ironic because for a long time, Siri would almost have agreed with you as she pronounced it for a long time, Asaquia. Are you serious, Siri, right now?
And if you actually walk downtown like I do on occasion and you hit the little button, there are some crosswalks that will tell you what street you're about to cross. It's mispronounced there. I've told the city of Visalia about this. In fact, maybe I'll remind them. I said, if you want me to cut it correctly, I'm more than happy to record the audio for you. I just can't get into the inner workings of that speaker and have it be my voice as opposed to someone else, but...
They either pre-recorded it wrong, or as I often say, AI is not rolling yet. Not all the way.
The other one that got me, and I did a remote there, was Will Teixeira Ford.
Oh, Teixeira?
Teixeira is what it looks. I mean, and you could argue the Spanish pronunciation of the word would be, but it's Portuguese.
It's Portuguese, and here's the thing. It's like Will, honest to God, there's 4 vowels in there. But it's Teixeira, and you get used to it, Teixeira. Faria is another commonly mispronounced if you're not familiar with Portuguese. It looks like Ferreira, but it's Faria.
We could do a whole show. In fact, maybe we will, on just local mispronunciations that a lot of people have.
Mooney's Grove Park.
Yeah, and you've mentioned that one countless times. But we've got this list again. This is 80 commonly mispronounced words, and you've got a printout in front of you. I've got the actual website in front of me. I just figured, in the time that we have, as a public service, we'll cover as many of these as we can. Like the very first one on the list. Now, did you get that wrong? That one wrong first?
Because I didn't know it was Acai.
So it's
ACAI, by the way, and it's a purple fruit from the acai palm tree.
Yeah,
But
acai.
as I've never had one ever, I would not know. But
it looks like it should be pronounced acai because it's ACAI. So I could see that, but it's the C that has the little, I don't know what to call it, hair at the bottom end of it.
The tilde?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, that's not. You're right. No, that's not what that's called. That's whatever that's called.
The
Sorry.
hair on the bottom of the C.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's acai.
Yeah.
Apparently that's how that one's pronounced. The next one
I had no trouble with.
Okay.
And not because I've been in court 9,000 times, but affidavit. I know what an affidavit is.
Yeah.
And the next one I know.
Now, how did you pronounce it just now?
Affidavit.
See, it should. One more time.
Affidavit.
You see, I'm hearing a D at the end as you're pronouncing it.
I'm trying to say the T. Affidavit.
See, and that's one of those. If you say,
I don't say affidavit. I say affidavit.
So, okay, and that time I heard the T. I would argue with most of
Probably
these.
swallow it a little
We
bit.
probably, in casual conversation, it's going to sound like we always pronounce all of these wrong. Like, in fact, let's
Skip ahead too.
Yeah, Antarctic.
Yeah.
Who says, and it technically is supposed to be Antarctic.
And you don't hit that K hard. Most of us slur it Antarctic. And I'm gonna. And by the way, I'm gonna continue to do that. Because
Isn't it funny though that
I don't want to fall over myself while I'm trying to.
there are some words that you will, once you realize the correct pronunciation, and again, being the one that deals with it more than anyone else here in the building, as being the commercial production director, and a lot of the imaging as well. If something's wrong, you have to make sure it's right. Whether it's you, whether it's one of us in the building, whether it's a client. So you're hypersensitive to it. But at the same time, like you're just saying, there are some words that you're willing to let slide. I'm sure there are others that are huge pet peeves for you. Outside this list, are there any that you have?
Oh, there are. One is on the list. We'll cover it there. One of them is if the gentleman or lady sells real estate,
Okay.
she is not a realtor.
So it's not 3 syllables.
She's a realtor.
It's 2, and that's
Realtor.
one I will probably slip on. But we were just talking about it before we started recording. There is what they call a barter commercial that we have to air on all of our stations. We can't control the content of these commercials, but there's one that will air every once in a while where the announcer who voices it pronounces it at least 2, if not 3 different ways in the same commercial. I guess he thought, well, I'll say it a couple different ways, and I know at least one of them will be right.
I think that he just overstates it a couple of times because one of them is realtor. Easy.
Yes, at the end.
We don't need the E at the end. It's not there. Just like if you say professional, you're not one. It's professional.
Pro.
And
Yep.
you can still slur that one too. Professional. You're just not professional. I'm not from Appalachia, which isn't a crime, but if I live here, I should say professional.
There's one that my wife gets wrong all the time, and she has these on occasion. An espresso is not an espresso. And they're not going to correct you at Starbucks or wherever you get one because they want your money. It's espresso.
Yeah, you don't jump on a highway. You're not on the expressway. It's espresso. But a lot of people, I would honestly say, Mike, probably 50%.
You know what?
I bet it's very 50-50. Because it's a common mispronunciation.
I should go into Starbucks.
And
Maybe
ask
I
them.
will this week and just ask them. I don't want anything because I don't drink coffee. However, I have a question for everybody here, all the baristas.
Tell them who you are and where you're from and why.
And maybe I'll even go in with Hector, and we'll get video of this and just ask, without outing anyone, naming any names, do you get espresso more often or espresso? What's the ratio?
The barista eye roll is like, oh my God. I'm so tired of hearing that. We know.
It might be one of those kind of like with you. They get it, but at the same time, it's like, if all I did all day was correct people on that pronunciation, that's all I would
wouldn't
do all
get
day.
a tip is what would happen.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. So,
Oh, here's one I bet I can guess how it's mispronounced.
okay.
Athlete. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but I bet a lot of people make it 3 syllables.
Yes. And
Athlete. No. Athlete.
And if you want to go to this website, it's yourdictionary.com/articles/mispronounced-words. And you can see this whole list. You can play along at home if you like.
And you can be nerds just like us. Here's one I did have wrong.
What's that?
Barbiturate. I've always and will continue, by the way, to say barbiturate.
With the
Just,
the naughty word right there in the middle.
wow. I didn't get that part. But no, I just always said barbiturate.
See, here's one that's,
And that's
on the
not even
list.
close.
Scrolling down a little bit. I will always say it this way just for fun. The foyer.
Foyer. Oh, yeah.
I mean, just hoity-toity, and maybe that's, I don't know. I know it's wrong,
But
it's the foyer.
French, it's foyer.
But it sounds that way. It sounds like it should be that way.
All right.
What's another one?
Who's not saying fiscal right?
It looks like that's another one that, again, if you play the home game on the other side, physical?
Fiscal. Yeah,
They added an
they
extra
might
syllable for some
They
reason.
might be turning it into physical.
It's
I don't know.
It's the same thing all over again. Now, when you get to words in different languages, again, I would say espresso. That's one that gets a lot of people. There was one on this. Oh, bon appetit.
Yeah, I put a T at the end.
Yeah, I think most people do, but that is wrong. Although the correct spelling is, it looks like it should be bon appetit. But
Have you ever seen the spelling for the very, very popular shopping district in France that is pronounced Champs-Élysées? If you look at the pronunciation of it, the spelling, it looks like Champs de Saint-Elise. Champs de Saint-Elise.
Yeah.
And it's Champs-Élysées. Really, French?
yeah, the French language in general, I think you could argue, seriously, change the spelling on some of those words.
Which brings us to charcuterie.
Okay. Yeah, that's on that list too, isn't it?
We've all been to enough weddings that most people these days, I think, because they're still very popular. I was in the wedding business for decades, and I just got out in the last 3 years. In the last 9 years, charcuterie boards had become absolutely 100%. Well, you got to have one, which is basically just a big wood board, great spread of meat and vegetables and
cheeses.
And
yeah.
cheeses. And
Yeah.
it's just a sissy la way of having what, well, we've always had all along.
See, here's one. Again, scrolling down just a little bit from that same list. Cornet, the instrument. I think I probably do mispronounce that one and call it a cornet.
Yeah, yes, I thought it was.
Yeah, well, apparently we were both wrong.
I don't look at the spelling of that word.
But yeah, we are guilty of these as well. Just because we are quote unquote paid professionals, if you listen to me every morning,
Professional.
you'll know at least once a break. There's probably some word that I'm butchering. It's a good thing that I went to school in Illinois and in the Salinas Valley, because if my English teachers ever listened, they'd be calling me up all the time. Michael, I taught you better than this.
Right? Your mother and your teacher. And there's my favorite month. Did we already cover that?
Oh, February?
Nope. February. And most people don't say February, and I'm well aware of that, but because of by nature of what I do for a living, I have to say realtor, and I've always said February, and I'm used to it. But it took me a while to make myself used to it, because I bet 99% of the people you ask will say February.
And if you're not hearing the difference, it's a difference between February and February. I think most of us do the U.
Yeah,
as I do. It's easier to say February than it's to say February. And especially if you're used to doing it as the U, retrain it's worse than learning it the first time, because you have to unlearn it first and then relearn it. Ask me with the whole amphitheater thing.
We've all had a word. Cavalry, really? When does that come up? Oh, calzone, I didn't know. I would have sworn on a stack of Bibles that it was not calzone. And I still don't think I'm going to say calzone.
See, and again, that's one that you are willing to have in your mind. Here's another one. And if Jennifer Grant popped in the studio right now, she would get me. And this goes to a more of a regional thing, but it's Paso Robles. Where do you get Robles out of Robles? I get it. And I understand. I've voiced commercials for that area, and I went out of my way when I was in a studio once with one of the TV stations there for the bike tour that used to be a big deal that happened every year in California. And I went out of my way to say Paso Robles. I kept referring to it as Paso Robles. At the end of the recording, and they all got together, and I'm like, what are they talking about? And they asked me to re-record the lines that had the city, so I said Paso Robles.
Yep.
Because I didn't want to offend all the white people in Paso Robles, because that's how they pronounce it in Paso Robles.
Purposefully anglicized there.
Yes.
I was in radio there on the coast for a long time.
Yeah.
Very true. Just like if someone's from Cambria because they won't call it Cambria. But again, I bet it's 50-50 even there now. It became less and less when I was, but those that live there say Cambria.
So do us a huge favor, and that's, again, if you want to get to the website mentioned at yourdictionary.com/articles/mispronounced-words. If there's any word that's a pet peeve of yours that you pronounce correctly and everybody else seems to get it wrong, especially on YouTube, go ahead and comment, and maybe we'll talk about it next week.